Hey, what's happening, YouTube? Thanks for stopping back into the channel today, right here at the Rust Belt Mechanic. Today we've got some cool toolbox action in for you here today. We're going to show you, I've got an issue with my actual bedline top that I picked up for my Epiq Snap-on toolbox. So we're going to go in through that one today. We've got some bubbling issues. We're going to go through what Snap-on did for the warranty and go through changing it out. So the issue that we are having is the Bedliner top is bubbling up. It is coming apart from the inside of it. We got air inside of it. I've tried a couple of different things. Some of the guys, when it first started, said put a needle, suck out what air you can, and inject some like super glue or something into it. Did that. Yeah, that didn't help at all, and it just started spreading and getting worse and worse. Now, I'm very particular about my toolbox top. I do not have brake cleaner. I don't have any kind of brake fluid or anything that gets put onto it, but you can see very likely what is happening because this is where my computer station is at. That's probably where, you know, arms kind of sit or anything like that, but you know, that's where some kind of oils, I guess, might be sitting. But I'll tell you what, for a Bedliner top, if it does this with just your arms and the oils from your arms sitting in those areas, I don't think that's a really great texture or design to it. This stuff should, in my opinion at least, be able to hold up a whole lot better than that. So, got a hold of my rep and he said, no problem at all, we're gonna get that swapped out. But the problem with this is getting it actually swapped out. You guys can see the cabinets that I have here, everything is bolted together. There's bolts here, bolts up top, and up top, and of course these casters for the Epiq toolboxes. The cabinets, once you have them installed, you remove their kind of centering casters that they have just for shipping purposes. So if you want to separate one of these to be able to get it apart, you're going to have to install these casters. But we're going to try some ingenuity because we do have a forklift here in our shop, and I want to get by without having to replace and take off as much as I possibly can. So here's the plan. What we're going to try to do, we're going to only unbolt the top bolts that bolt our cabinets to the riser. At that point, we're going to remove our 4 screws in here that bolt our riser to the Bedliner top. At that point, we're going to use some of the holes that are in the top up here and here, and we're going to put some bolts through these to be able to lift this top up with a forklift. We're gonna grab the forklift and be able to lift that top up. I only want to lift that one up probably 2 inches or so, so I don't have to take off everything on this cabinet, take all the power out and everything that goes through it and all. I don't want to have to do that one. So we're gonna see what we can do with this one. I'm gonna try to get a couple of things hooked up, and we'll see where you get this thing going. Now, as you guys can see here on the back, this is the clustered up mess that I kind of have to deal with here. We're going to have to take off this power bar that we have, the power strip here along the top, kind of get some of these power cords up out of the way, and we do have the power strip stuff that's plugged into the actual top itself. Those two there, and I think there's another one right over in this area. So we got to get those unplugged, and I'm going to have to go around to the front, open up the cabinets to get the 2 bolts on either side up and done. So let's go ahead and unhook these wires. Now what we need to do is get our mounting bolts that mount our cabinets to our riser, because we want to leave our cabinets in place to be able to pick up our riser. All it's going to be, we should have 2 13s here and then here in the back. Just get those out real quick. I dropped it. That's not good. One. This is stupid. I just dropped another one. Alright, so now we're just going to need to pull our 4 screws that mount the top to the hutch. Just need a swivel for each one of these. Get each one of those kind of pulled up and out. Alright, get the other side and then we'll be ready to put some hardware for mounting and pulling off our hutch. Alright, so now for the sketchy as French toast part. We've got our forklift behind the toolbox here. Go around to this one. Got the forklift here, close enough to the back of it. And then we have some hardware hooked up in here through some mounting plates in the top of the actual hutch. So our hutch right there has some mounting plates that was more than likely for this exact reason at one point, because we can see, let me close the top a little, we can see that there's actual reinforcement plates there in the center section, and that is exactly centered. So more than likely that's what they used this for before. So we've got those hooked up, got a ratchet strap in between. Got some counterweight stuff here on the front side because obviously we've got some weight still mounted to the back section of this one. And we've got also a pad between the forks and the top because I don't want to scratch that up just in case it's not exactly, you know, leveled out or anything. So if it tilts forward or backward, we're going to be good there. So that's the hope, at least. Now we're kind of send it and see if we can lift it just a couple of inches. Kind of scared about this one. Alright, good. It's off. It's off all the way around. You go ahead and shut her off. There it is. Sketchy as hell, but it is off just enough all the way around. So now we get a couple of guys in here to hopefully shimmy it out the front. Sorry, I forgot to push the record button, but we just kind of shimmied it out of there. I'll pull it out of the place. Good to go. Alright, now we're just going to slide the other one right back in there. Watch your fingers.
A lot of little things under there.
Fingers. You gotta push it evenly. There, right down into place. Pull forward just a hair. Like so. Alright. Now there are 2 bolts that go up through it to mount right into the center section, so hopefully we got those lined up and we get those mounted back on. Alright guys, I know you didn't really want to see that whole process because going back together is just like taking it apart. Get everything screwed down, bolted down. Yes, I put all those bolts back. Yes, I went in and found the ones that I dropped. So yeah, I was a pain in the butt, but I ended up finding it. got everything put together, and now I'm going to go through some of the differences on the top that I had compared to the top that they sent me. So I really like this one. Let's check it out. So on this top, I've noticed that there's a slightly different texture to it. It's almost a little bit more of a sheen to it. So let's hope that this one's going to last a little bit longer when it comes to, you know, some of the chemicals and stuff that we put all over it. The other thing that's going to be different is the updated outlets that we have on the back. Able to run a few more things. It runs 5 outlets now that are offset, so I can actually fit some more of them in there. Switch, and it has 2 USB ports. We can see them hanging out right in there. So 2 USB outputs. They run, I want to say it's like 2.5 amp, maybe it'd be, yeah, I think it's 2.1 or 2.5 amp. And then same thing over on this side. So that's going to let me keep some more ports open, more outlets open as I need. Now, the old one that I had, it only had 4 of those outlets on it and no USBs. So, you know, it's kind of a pain keeping all these extra lights and everything that I like to keep up in here. It didn't really leave me a lot of extra room if I wanted to charge something else, like I brought my iPad to work for me and wanted to charge it. So kind of a pain in the butt there. But the other thing that I didn't know that they were going to upgrade, and I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but they gave me the lighted strip option, which push the button and all of a sudden we have lights in the entire front of the toolbox, all lit up inside the drawers. We can see the inside. Let's turn the light off. So the difference of what we're looking at there compared to with the light on, that is pretty impressive. I'm gonna have to say that I will probably just end up leaving that LED light on like all the time. I like how it works and I like how it looks. How about in one of the lower drawers here? Now that makes a huge difference on that drawer especially. Wow, that is a massive difference when we start adding that light into where I really need it in some of these lower drawers. Absolutely love that light feature. So I don't know if that's just because I ended up having the power top and this is the only one that they have available now, or they ended up finding out who I was, that I didn't get the exact identical same top that I had before and they upgraded to this one. That I really am not sure the reasoning on that one, but my Snap-on representative covered this one fully under warranty. Now the next big thing that I'm going to get a million questions for already was, oh, you guys paid that much for that toolbox and you had to end up taking it apart and doing it yourself? No, I didn't have to. My Snap-on rep actually offered to come here quite a few times. He said, yeah, we'll come on an evening or we'll come on a weekend whenever you have time open and we'll help you take it apart and we'll help you swap the top out for you. But if I just sat there and had somebody else do it for me, what kind of content would you guys have then? You wouldn't be able to see all this. So I wanted to be able to bring this to you and how I was able to get that top swapped out as simply as possible, at least. I was kind of worried that I had to take one of these cabinets off, but thankfully, you know, these things had some pretty good lifting points on them, and if you guys have to take yours off in the future, you can see that it's really not that bad of a job as long as you have either a lift or a forklift. So just to show you guys how well that one is, I'm really happy with the new top that I got on this one. Hopefully you guys like this one. I'm absolutely loving it, and it gave me an extra excuse to clean and reorganize my top because I know I had a bunch of crap all over it anyways, and I hadn't wiped down the box in a couple of weeks. So I know, you spend this much money on a box, you should probably clean it more often. But, you know, got it all cleaned off and it gave me the excuse to get it all cleaned now. Well, that's about all I've got for you guys today. I know, just a quick, easy little one for you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on that bell notification down below so you get notified when I come out with cool, awesome content, just like this one here today. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and as always, you guys stay awesome.